Welcome to episode 7 of Craig and Drew Build a Racing Balls. I was so convinced I was going to get this one right. Welcome to Craig and Drew Build a Vintage Sidecar. Welcome to episode 7 of Craig and Drew Build a Vintage Sidecar Racer. No, that's the wrong one. Welcome to episode 7 of Craig and Drew Build a Vintage Racing Sidecar. I'm Drew from Hellbenders Racing Team.
And I'm Craig from RDH Garage.
So what are we doing today?
Might move to the final drive.
Getting close to having this engine done. I'm pretty excited about that.
Here's a handy dandy final drive holder tool that Chris Sutton from the Airheads made. We're going to mount the final drive onto the vise with this holder.
Looks like these are bigger than these.
Yeah, I have it
Says that for different years.
Post 70 and pre 70.
One time told Dylan, Doug's son, that there was no real use for a 14mm wrench.
Oh, really?
That you never use it, never proceeded to use it like a billion times. Yeah, there was a good amount of crow eating that day.
Okay, so now we're going to put this in here. Remove the brake arm first. Should mark the shaft over here before you remove this. So this is where you would mark the shaft to line it up with this notch in the brake arm. Here's the cover, and here are the 5mm bolt extractor holes. Ring gear. You have to hit this with a mallet to get it to come through.
Okay.
You want a soft landing.
Let's see if I can find any more of those horrible, ugly pants. You made fun of me about. Oh look, there we go.
Oh.
Perfect. Creepy young girl shorts.
Girly shorts in there. There we go, look at that. You can mark that, the cover ring gear removal bucket. The seal was inside of the cover, which was underneath the ring gear.
That's a big one.
I'll punch this seal out from the cover. Be careful, you don't want to hit the edge. And one thing you'll note inside the cover, the seal only goes to the top part of this surface, like that, because beyond that is a weep hole right here. We want to clear out that weep hole. This weep hole will tell you if the seal's bad, because if the oil's getting past the seal, it'll weep through here. And again, we're going to throw it in the ultrasonic so we can see how clean it gets.
Yeah, because this looks like another hateful gasket.
Here's the ring gear, and there's a shim here that controls the preload on the bearing that's underneath it. So just make sure when you put it back together that the orientation's the same. Another washer underneath the ring gear. And just make sure this is the same orientation as well when it goes in. That controls your gear lash between the pinion gear and the ring gear. The pinion gear is here. It controls the amount of lash in between the gears. Let's take this out. So our next step is to get the bearing out and the sleeve, because there's a seal behind there. We have to flip this upside down, heat it up, and knock it out. Yeah. You want to put something underneath here to catch the bearing. We're just going to heat the crap out of this. Try to get this up to about 180 degrees. Okay.
Dramatic reenactment.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
Wait, I think it's in there.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that.
Underwear muffled.
All right, what am I doing now?
Okay, just get that out of there because we don't want to drop that on the bearing. Now we're going to heat it up more and drive it out. Drive this. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to flip it back around and put the seal in. The notch that Drew is pointing to is where you want to be prying your seal puller on. And then you get underneath the seal on the other side and make sure you don't gouge it. There you go. Very good. Oh, you got a little notch in there.
You did, didn't I?
Yeah, I probably got a little file in there and file that little edge. Okay. Now we're going to work on the pinion seal. First we have to remove the nut. And I have a CycleWorks tool that holds the pinion bevel gear, and I have it attached to the mount as well. So that will hold this gear while I'm loosening the nut. How about a breaker bar? Alright. Boy, this thing's still hot. God. I'm like burning my arm.
You all right?
Yeah, I think so. Never mind.
Okay.
It's right there. They usually come out mush, but yours is so new. The threaded ring nut is coming out next. We have a CycleWorks tool again. It has these little, it's a big nut with little nuts on it and little square things that fit into the notches. And I have here too. So this fits into these notches. Just make sure that they seat in the notches completely. If you don't, you could just break the thing. And I did. So I had to drive it out with a chisel, like, and I use this just to seat them into the notches. 41mm socket.
Holy crap.
That goes on the outside of that huge nut. Looks good. So we'll just spin this threaded nut out. All right, there it is.
I got it cocked is my problem. Making a hash of this.
So you're learning a lot about BMW seals in this session. Right size.
I don't think it is. I think that's part of my problem. If we just put this in, yeah, that's not going all the way in.
Huh. Take two. There you go.
That'll be good for it.
I think it's right.
One's not quite in there. I'm just being picky.
They don't all seat in completely, but you just kind of split the difference between them. You'll see the other one comes up, so you have to kind of just keep going until you just get a feel that they're all in about the same. As long as you don't have one sticking out. And we're doing 80 foot-pounds. Don't lift your table off the ground now. So I'm going to have to go the other way. I'm going to have to go this way. We're good. Tool.
Oh, there it is.
So my other CycleWorks tool is somewhere around here.
Of course I want to clean the threads. I'm the cleaning guy.
Cleaning crew. Oh, I'll just put a couple seals in it. Yeah, okay.
I've got another one of these I've got to do once I get it. Okay, so now we tightening that. We know what we're tightening that to.
80 pounds. Take a deep breath.
Alright, go ahead. Looks like we got most of the seals done. I got to order a new one.
Yeah, there's one seal that was missed, and we just have to heat up the case again and put that seal in. Probably within a half hour, that'll be done.
Yep.
Okay, we're back to the final drive. Got the seal for the external on the outside here, and we're going to put that in. And we're also going to put the roller bearing in on top of that, and then there's a sleeve that goes on top of that.
And in my own defense, of all of the seals and all of the gaskets you watched us install, this is the only one I forgot.
And it was on a separate fish, because I forgot it when I was looking at my RT.
Ah, see, look at that. I've been excused.
I see the reason. Put a tiny bit of Vaseline on, helps the seal go into the recess there. So I'm going to try to push the seal in with my fingers just a little bit till it catches. Slide around on the edge.
Looks pretty level to me.
Yeah, it's good now. We're going to heat up the whole case to about 180 degrees, and then we're going to drop the frozen bearing in and tap it down with a socket and put in the sleeve. Okay, so we just replaced the seal and heated up the case to about 180 degrees, and we put the roller bearing in, tapped it in with a bearing driver, and then we tapped the long sleeve in. The axle goes through with a drift, a long drift.
We could do a dramatic reenactment of you tapping it in.
Drift, which is a tape rust washer on. Make sure it's the same orientation. Just insert the ring gear. Make sure it's engaging with the pinion. And we have the shim here, and we want to put a little bit of grease or Vaseline on just to hold it in place while we put the cover on.
So we put the gasket on.
Orientation, as you see, there's space differential here. We're using this can. Just slip it over the spline. There's a seal over here that's inside the cover. Because when we put the cover on, it slides over top of the spline, so you don't want the seal to be damaged. This doesn't have to be super hot. Make sure the hole's lined up. I guess I have to hold it down. There we go.
Love to tap. Love to. Oop. All the way down.
Yeah. 14 to 15 pounds. There we go. My R100.
The beauty of technology and disc brakes. No leaking rear brake seal.
And I have an RT now, so I know that.
Rear disc on that?
Yeah.
The 79?
79, yeah.
Wow. I didn't know they did that back then.
Yeah.
120 inch-pounds is 10 foot-pounds.
14 to 15.
Foot-pounds is how many inch-pounds? Thank God for phone calculators. Not only do you have to go from foot-pounds to inch-pounds, but then it's in 10 increments, so each increment is actually 12 inch-pounds, and you got to add that on. 14 times 12, 168. It's not hard to rebuild a master cylinder. I've done a couple.
Barrington says banging on the table and then make sure the gear's
Good?
Yeah.
Alright, so we're putting brakes on. What do I do?
Shaft goes in first. I put a little red grease on the shaft. A little bit of anti-seize on these surfaces where the brakes ride on. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I just need to fiddle with it. Okay. Do I want both of those springs on first? The last one's always the hardest.
You're basically lining it up, and you're going to get them just so they're just getting on. And you're going to kind of click them on, and make sure that your washer's still underneath this back portion when you're doing it. There's a little washer right here. You want to make sure that the edge of the brake doesn't go down past there as you're clicking it on. Like, you have to get it almost at an angle first, and then you kind of do them both at the same time, pretty much. It's easy to say. Because
okay, both at an angle, and then like a bear trap, you mean?
Yeah, oh yeah. You're getting it. No, see, right here, see this washer right here? That's what I was talking about.
Oh, I'm under the washer.
So
Son of a gun.
If I had to do this all over again, I would have marked the brake arm, and then I would have put the brake arm on. Caused an issue where this thing was going up and down as you were pressing.
That was really weird.
It's actually easier to take off.
That was easy to take off.
See, this washer got bent up a little bit.
Reasonably flat.
Yep, the washer goes in first.
Washer was just flat.
Felt ring, and the brake arm. It goes pretty much straight down, but a little bit back.
Amateur tip. This needs to come out of this because that actually forms part of the circle there, so that when it's on, it can't come back off. So you've got to take that little bolt out and whoops, felt first this.
There.
See how easy that is when you take that bolt out?
Back to the brakes.
Where'd they go? Oh, there they are. I don't think I've felt so incompetent in so long.
It took me a while to figure out how to do this. I don't feel...
You're getting frustrated watching me do this yet?
No.
Get under and pry this backside by my elbow. I think that's where we're hung up.
There you go. And this side. Oh, Jesus. Ta-da! Very good.
There she is, all rebuilt, new brakes. Just need to fill her up. Good to go.
If you want to see my final drive resale presentation, it's on rdhgarage.com.
Slideshow up there for you.